Welcome, everybody, to the Joe Lee podcast, the only podcast where we wonder what football is in 2021. I'm Joseph, and I'm joined by...
Hey, I'm Lee. How's it going, everyone?
And we wanted to address the elephant in the room for our 3 subscribers. We did not do a podcast last week because I was busy taking finals, and Lee was busy grading finals. So... yeah, he actually...
Well, actually not final. I think midterms.
Oh, midterms. There you go. I'm sorry.
I wish it was
Midterms.
finals.
Yes, I wish it was finals week too.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Thanks guys for subscribing to our channel. It's very exciting to have at least 3 subscribers.
Yeah. So, crazy week for NFL news. Stuff that, like just crazy stuff happening, like as far as games, but also like kind of crazy stuff like outside of the games as well. And you don't really ever want to see like too much drama outside the field, but unfortunately, given our world standards and stuff like that, some stuff has been brought up to light with Jon Gruden, and you could see it's the title of this week's podcast. And we wanted to address it before really getting into the next week's preview and predictions and discussion about our teams. So let me see. Let's move to the next screen. And Jon Gruden resigned as head coach of Las Vegas Raiders after reports of homophobic, racist, and misogynistic emails. So, Lee, what was your initial reaction to hearing all this stuff?
I was kind of surprised, right? Because I think you brought this up, right? Like, I think we were tweeting each other, like messaging each other, and you mentioned that he kind of got in trouble. And then on the same night, I think he resigned, right? Because it was evolving really fast. He was found making all these comments through emails, and this happened 10 years ago? But it was not a one-time thing, right? And so I was like, well, so what's going to happen to Raiders? Because I feel like Raiders seems to be always like the victim somehow. People like to think them as the victim. They evolved so fast. And so I was like, oh, no way, Jon Gruden for real? Because he seemed to be like an okay guy. I don't know, he seems to have a really good image and good rapport with his players and stuff like that. So it was a little bit hard to see a news like this about Gruden. And what was your reaction seeing the news?
I think I'm pretty skeptical when it comes to I don't want to call this cancel culture because this really isn't cancel culture. But it's more I usually try to read into it first or understand both points of views when someone's about to lose their job. So it was really weird for me seeing all these accusations and stuff like that. But at first I thought, oh, it's just he said something a while ago and maybe it was a bad day for him or something like that. Maybe he had a tough loss or he was frustrated with the player. But after reading what he had said about one of his players and his description of how he looks, it was really sort of insensitive what he said. And then there was another email that was talking about how he described a player who was homosexual, and that was wrong. And then the last one was that he called Roger Goodell the female reproductive system, and he called them the F word, the one associated with homosexuality. So it was really bizarre seeing all this stuff, and you just can't be saying that especially in work emails, how did he get away with this? Oh, there was also that other thing where he was denouncing female referees, and imagine saying the least worst thing that he said was denouncing female referees. Dude just messed up royally. And again, the thing is, this wasn't like he was angry at the league in one day. This was like all the emails were like spread uh, throughout throughout the years. So yeah, it's really like bizarre. Like
But I think what was crazy was that like the whole investigation began not because they found out about his emails. It was like investigating into Washington football team, and you mentioned that the emails was discovered during this investigation process, right?
yeah. This was all found while the NFL was investigating the Washington football teams with the allegations of the the prostitution. I don't want to call it that because I don't think that's exactly what it is. Uh, the prostitution circle of the cheerleaders, because it's a little blurry on my mind, but basically what happened was the Washington football team, like the heads of that were throwing a party, and they had like a bunch of like rich people, and they were trying to like pawn out their cheerleaders to do favors for other rich people. So I think that was the situation of it, and then that's what initially caused the NFL to search for these things. But then this was revealed as a part of that investigation, and we're not going to talk about it too much today, or we're not going to speculate because this is not a speculation podcast. But there are like about 14,000 other emails that the NFL is refusing to release to the NFLPA right now.
Yeah, it was truly bizarre because I wonder, like who are actually involved, but hope things will be better because I feel like when things couldn't be crazier, it got crazier. So we'll see. Maybe in next 2 weeks we'll see something dramatic, but I hope not.
Yeah. You hope that this is the end of it. Like this is all the drama that there is, and that no one else is getting hurt, or no one else is saying things that could be derogatory or hurting other people. Especially with like the NFL's like new approach to, they have those little tags on the back of the helmets that says end racism, and they have them
Yeah,
on the
no
fields.
hate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no hate. Like you can't be saying this stuff. I'm not gonna defend Jon Gruden because he you again, you can't be saying that at work. You shouldn't be
right.
saying it at all, but you can't
Hmm.
be emailing it with your work email. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's it. That's I think our stance on it.
Yep.
Um, yeah. All right. So let's briefly talk about last week. Our teams. So the 49ers played. I don't remember. Who did they play?
They play against the Cardinals.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So initially I thought that was gonna be like a blowout game. Cardinals probably gonna win like 50-10 or something. Who knows, right? They're
Yeah.
hot, right? So they Cardinals went into the game with 4-0. They are the only team that didn't lose any game, right? They haven't lost a game so far still. So I just want to mention a few things that really bugs me because I really want the Niners to win that game. But this is the first time where Trey Lance actually took over as a quarterback. This is his like first official game, right? He started the first quarter and ended the fourth quarter. For the most part, you could tell that you could feel like the lookiness in him, right? And so he had one interception, and his like passer rating wasn't that great that game, to be honest. But so I don't want to focus too much on it because the whole day I remember I text you, I was really frustrated. I was like, what was wrong with them? And I was kind of pissed, to be honest. But what really bothers me was the fourth down. Okay, so they had like a 5 fourth down opportunities. I think they attempt them.
Mm-hmm.
They only made one, right? So like
Oh,
fourth
wow.
down and four, fourth down and one. They only get one first down from this 5 fourth down, and which was really frustrating because I was like, hey, I thought you guys had really good offense. So couldn't you come up with better offensive scheme to just get to first down? So they like the both team kind of went back and forth with this, but it was really frustrating, in my opinion, to just even listen on the game or just kind of follow the score. And so I think the other thing is that unfortunately, I think Trey Lance is hurt, right? So he sprained his left knee. So he's going to be out for a couple or 3 weeks. But thankfully they have a bye week this week. So I think it gives Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance some time to heal. And the rumor is that if Jimmy G is feeling well, it's going to start in the following week, right? I don't know. A lot of people don't think this is a good idea, but we'll see what happens. Jimmy G is hurt as well. He has like a calf contusion. So all the best to Niners. And I hope that they win at least one game. Come on, let's not tank.
Are they? They're not 0-4, are they?
No, they're not. They're 2-3 right now.
2-3.
Honestly, I don't think they can afford to lose more games because it's going to be harder as the season progresses. Players get tired as the season goes on, and so they do want to win more games. Like I don't think 2-3 is a good situation, but it's still much better than 0-4. So we'll see what happens. But in comparison, I'm kind of jealous of your team, Joseph. Like, I don't know. What is like a Chargers is all of a sudden is like the favor, like Ravens, right? So what can you tell me about the Chargers? Like
so
this past couple of weeks.
So this last week we played the Browns, and first I'll talk about how I was feeling personally. So beginning of the game, I'm quite optimistic. I was pretty annoyed by how good the running was for the Browns, because it just seemed like they were getting first down after first down after first down. But the good thing is that Herbert was able to keep up with scoring touchdowns like right after. And so, at some point they were up by 2 scores, and I was like, dang, like I was feeling really frustrated that they couldn't like get anything done. And then third quarter, I believe the Chargers were able to hold them down and actually tie the game at the end of the third. And then fourth quarter, they were able to outscore them. So let me check what the final score was, but I'm pretty sure it was like 40-40, 46-41. Chargers.
No, it's actually 42-47. Yeah.
42-47? Okay.
Man, that was a close game because I think, didn't it come down to a wire? Like
Yes. It came down to so on the last run, the Chargers were trying to gain the lead, and I believe with the field goal, they were going to get the lead. So basically they line up, and I think they're at the 3 or something like that. And Austin Eckler gets the ball, and then he goes up to like the 2-yard line. And then as he's trying to like go down, like the Browns team like pick him up and like push him into the end zone. And the score is like it's a 1-score difference now. And so pretty much like the Browns get the ball back, but they're just trying to run the clock out, because I think it was like at a minute 50 at that point. So they're trying to give him like 13 seconds instead of like a whole like minute and a half.
So that was the reason they pushed him to the end.
Yes,
zone,
that's
right?
why they pushed him into the end zone, because they were gonna give the ball back to Baker and hopefully try to score again, because I guess they would have won by 1 point if they scored a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was hilarious.
Yeah,
like I've never seen that before. Where like, we're just gonna make you get a touchdown and we'll try and shoot.
Yeah, it was weird, because my dad was like, "Wait,
why would they do that?"
Yeah, why would they do that?" And I'm like, "It's because there's enough time for them to score again." Mm-hmm. And so just a lot of emotions during that game. But Justin Herbert had 437 passing yards, which is like crazy. I believe he's the number 3 passer now. I think last week he was number 5. So he just went up like 2 rankings because of this shootout with the Browns. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be surprised if the following week it's another shootout. We'll get more to it when we talk about the Ravens and the Chargers. But Justin Herbert, I think he's like the dark horse for MVP candidate. There's a lot of other quarterbacks being talked about for MVP, with Tom Brady being like the top one on the list. But I truly think that Justin Herbert is on the verge of being the MVP of this season. Just bold prediction.
I just feel like if the Chargers somehow end up being like winning at least like what 14 games, let's say, then I think he should be the MVP because I just don't see why not, right? Because he has been so stable, and if you look across the league on the quarterbacks, uh, Herbert can run, but then he's not a running like those running quarterbacks. So there's something to be like about his games, right? So he will stay in the pocket if needed, but he's very smart about it, right? He doesn't like go crazy and just running around the field whenever he's on the pressure. So he always look very poised. So that is something very desirable, in my opinion.
Yeah, the only thing holding him back right now for the MVP candidate is the two picks that he had. One was against Washington, because that was a Ford fumble or something like that. That was a really weird one. And then the other one was during the Kansas City game. I believe he had a pick there and a fumble.
That was the
So
first couple games, right? It was kind of
yeah,
weird, right?
it was there were really bizarre like turnovers, but
Mhm.
I think if it would come down to Brady and they had like similar yardage, even if Justin Herbert was ahead by a little bit, those picks might come into question later on.
Mhm.
But I'm confident that I'm confident that Herbert can outpass Tom Brady.
Yeah, yeah, we never know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but right now Herbert looks really good. Everyone has started talking about Herbert, make a lot of comparison between Herbert and other quarterbacks. So it'll be interesting seeing uh, how good Chargers will be, as the season progresses.
Yeah. Okay. So the only other thing I want to address is what pretty much what a lot of Browns fans have been like complaining about, and it was the pass interference call on 4th and 9, something like that.
Oh,
And they have like the screenshot of a Mike Williams like pulling on the other guy's jersey,
ooh.
and to I guess to try to like pick himself up. That's the impression I got. The problem with that is that if you rewind the clip 2 seconds before, like you could see that the other guy's also causing pass interference on Mike Williams. So I could see the ref's standpoint where they were both running. They were pretty much both causing pass interference on each other, and like if you looked at the whole play like as a whole, I think the pass interference was on the Chargers.
Mhm.
Um, I think it was deserved a little bit. And even if it wasn't, the Chargers did manage to stop the two Browns possessions after the pass interference. So to me, it's like yes, like it was even if you were right, if it was pass interference against the Chargers, and then it would have turned over the ball, the defense would have
Mhm.
still stopped them. Like Baker didn't have anything near the end of the fourth quarter. So
Right.
so I just I don't see the argument here that they would have won because they had two chances to win the game and they didn't.
Mhm. I just feel like the pass interference is always very tricky, right? Because like in most cases you get 15 yards and a first down, right? So it's always like a very tricky. Like I don't like those, especially when Niners play when they got called for pass interference. They always feel like it's very like annoying because it's like you give the other team the opportunity to score very quickly. But yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, that's it as far as like the Chargers last week. Things are looking up. We're 4-1 now, and yeah, I'm really hoping that the Cardinals lose so we can be the top team in the NFL. But they
yeah, I
they
don't know.
deservedly are probably still the number one right now.
I just don't know. I think that the things are working out for the Cardinals. I feel like last season they stunk, right? Uh, but somehow the season, it just things works for Cardinals. But we'll see. This is a long season. I think we're entering into week 6, and
We are.
I think this past Sunday there's like some sign of like Kyler Murray kind of like it's hurt. He was hurt a little bit? He had like somebody massage his arm and stuff like that. So we'll see how healthy Kyler Murray will stay, remains during this season.
Agree.
Mm-hmm.
All right. NFL Week 6 predictions. We're going to start from Thursday's game and we will end with Monday's game. So Thursday night, Tampa Bay versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do you got?
Bucks.
Bucks. Yeah, I think the Bucks versus Philly is probably a blowout game.
It's not a fair game.
Yeah, it's not. I think we've talked in the past how Philly was struggling to find an identity, and that doesn't seem to be too much of the case anymore. I feel like the last 2 weeks they've kind of shown a lot of improvement with like Jalen Hurts. Maybe they had to adjust some of the offense, and the first couple of weeks was rough. They've been playing better, but I'm not sure that they're playing good enough to beat Tampa Bay. They're on a roll.
I agree. I think it has to be both the offense and the defense, and I think Bucks would be too much for them.
Yeah. All right. The Miami Dolphins versus the Jacksonville Jaguars at 6:30 a.m. Who do you got?
I got Dolphins.
Dolphins? You're probably right. But I think
you should go with the Jaguars.
I'm gonna go with the Jaguars.
I did feel like they had a chance to win last time. I was just really upset they didn't win the game last time.
Yeah.
Like, there was one game where they were leading by like 14 points or so. And I remember we were like messaging each other, and I was like, hopefully the Jags won't mess up on this one, and they did.
Yeah,
it's so frustrating.
Yeah, I think the Jaguars have actual potential. Like Trevor Lawrence has, I feel like he's been slightly adjusting to like the league's play style, and he's been getting better. I think after this whole Urban Meyer situation, which actually we didn't even talk about that. But
it was a mess. I don't know how he's like. So the owner actually said that he will have to gain the trust of the players and the coaches again. Right.
Yeah, well, so, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think he's done. He's done.
I think it was bizarre. I think he might be on his way out at the end of the season, maybe.
Yeah. So I think if they are not under the Urban Meyer coaching right now because of the whole situation, I actually do think that Jaguars have a chance to win if they're coached by NFL guys and not
a college
guy.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, as far as I know, things are back to normal. So you're probably right. Probably Miami wins. But again, I don't know too much about the situation in Miami as far as like their coaching and their players or Tua. But I don't think Tua has been playing well.
Right, but I think the Dolphins is a little bit weird. Like, because you would expect their records to be better than 1-4, but it also can be like we're reading it too much, right? Because it's still early in the season. So,
right,
yeah.
All right, Kansas City versus the Washington football team. Who do you got?
I think Mahomes is going to get this one. I think he was so frustrated in the last game.
Yeah.
Their defense was really bad, though. I have to say. The Chiefs' defense suck.
Yeah. Obviously, you don't...
I'm sorry. I just feel like their defense wasn't really...
No, their defense does suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are in a situation where their offense is really good, but their defense is just horrible. I think they have the second most passing allowed passing yards in the league, and I think that the Lions are the only other team that's beating them on worse defense.
The worst is actually the Seahawks. So like I guess the Chiefs is only slightly better than the Seahawks.
Okay,
in that regard.
Probably. So yeah, really bad, and I don't. You don't want to say that the Chiefs are like bad, but they kind of are. So I think they win this one. I think just based off of like Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes, and I don't think Washington's been doing all that great either. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
honestly think this might be closer than we're all thinking.
Maybe it's only coming. Maybe it might come down to just a field goal. Who knows?
If
Yeah,
if Kansas City does lose to Washington, we can call them bad. We can say that the team is bad
yeah. Okay, yeah.
because
I agree.
it's not just about having a good quarterback. It's a team effort.
I think we talked about this right, like in last year's like Super Bowl, and then we're saying that this is not just about the quarterback, right? Because we see like Mahomes was being
Right, right.
chased by the by Bucks
Yeah,
defense,
the man
which
was
is
running everywhere.
yeah, he was running for his life, and then I was like, where? What is it? What was his offensive line doing? Nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah. So let's hope that the Chiefs will bounce back in this game.
yeah. At the end of the day, I think like I still want to see Mahomes in the playoffs. I just can't see the playoffs without him because I feel like he makes all the games more interesting. Um,
Yeah, yeah, I really like this watching like Travis Kelsey play. He's a really good tight end, and so it would be suck to miss him in the
yeah,
playoffs. You
but
know.
they
Yeah.
need to figure out stuff. Like what me is like the most interesting part is that Mahomes restructured his contract so they could sign better players, but other players in the team didn't want to restructure their contracts. So
Yeah,
is the
that's hard.
team like yes, you already won the Super Bowl, but
Mhm.
maybe some players are okay with that and they are like, okay, well, I did it, I accomplished it, and now I just make the bag. Whereas I feel like Mahomes is like, I need another Super Bowl, or I need to like win more, or I need to live up to the legacy of like the baby
Mhm.
goat or whatever.
Yeah. Well, maybe he should have this discussion with Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Maybe he will figure something out.
Yeah, and the worst part is, I guess, for Mahomes is that if his team doesn't want to figure something out, he's stuck in like an 11-year contract extension. So even if he wanted to leave, he can't.
That sucks though. Like you kind of like at that point, then you kind of count on the management, right? Like um, if the management decides that, hey, look, we want to win like 6 Super Bowls, like in the span of what 15 years, then maybe they will do something about it. But if then they're not willing to sign good players with like with the cap space, then I think it's a terrible idea. I think it would be suck to be stuck at a place with a team where there's really no potential. But we'll see what happens this season, right? At the end of the season, if they're really bad, then hoping that the management will do something about it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Rams and the Giants, uh, same time. What do you got and why?
Rams.
Rams easy. The New York Giants have looked like dog water this
I think
entire
they lost their
season.
quarterback, right? So
Yes,
Daniel
Daniel Jones
Jones,
is injured.
he had a concussion. Yeah.
Yeah, he like went helmet in first to try to get a touchdown or a first down, and dude, the dude was literally wobbling his way out of the
Oh
field.
my God.
Like it
No,
was.
but aren't there like certain things that they teach quarterbacks not to do, right?
Yeah, you don't
And
go head first in. That's what.
Jimmy G got yelled at it by people saying like, why do you always go shoulder first? Because that's how you mess up your shoulder. But that he couldn't change his habit. So I don't know what Daniel Jones was thinking. I think you go head first. It was always a bad idea. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Herbert was in an interview talking about mobile quarterbacks,
Mhm.
and he was saying like, the baseball slide looks easy, but it ain't as easy as everyone seems. Like you had to have played baseball in order to figure out how to do it. And I
Oh,
was just like,
like the other thing is that, like if you're not careful, I could see that you injure your hamstring or your knees, like with the slides. Um, but yeah, like it was bizarre. Like, I don't know. I hope that Daniel Jones will recover, quick enough to play a game, but we'll see.
yeah, Houston versus the Colts, Indianapolis Colts. Who do you got?
I think Colts got this one.
Yeah, I think so too. The Houston is just again kind of the same situation as the Giants. They just don't look good. Deshaun is in that, I guess, not a court case, but he's trying to like figure out his sexual accusations that he's had in the past, and there's just nothing going around that team right now.
Yeah, nothing.
Uh, the Bengals versus the Lions. Who do you got?
I really want to see the Lions win this one, but I don't think they will lose. It's
Nah.
really sad to say that they won't win in a game this season, but as much I think Bengals will win this one, I'm gonna try to root for Lions just for the first time.
Yeah, the Bengals were in a situation where they were close to winning against Pittsburgh, but they couldn't figure it out. And I called Pittsburgh a mid team, I think 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The Lions, they've just been suffering also really heart crushing defeats. So I think like someone's got to choke here. And who's going to choke the most is like what we're trying to figure out here.
They've been losing to like some bizarre game, like by a field goal. Like I think back to back. It was so heartbreaking for them.
Yeah, I guess
so. Hopefully they will do something about it this on Sunday, and then hopefully they will pick up the first win of the season. That will be exciting for the team.
That would be great. Yeah, but I just think talent-wise, Joe Burrow is like better than Jared Goff. So
I agree.
There might not be anything there for the Lions to beat to win anyways. So I think I gotta go Cincy at the end of the day, just because of Joe Burrow. But it would be crazy if the Lions win.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
All right, Green Bay versus Chicago.
Ooh, I think this might be a close game. Who knows?
Yeah.
Last week I say like Bears might lost to the Raiders, but it was the opposite, right? So I think this might be a close game, but I do think that the Packers will win this one.
Yeah. Are they 3-2? The Bears?
Yeah, Bears are 3-2. Surprised, right?
Yeah, I am surprised. They have a winning record. So I agree. I think the Packers have been playing better. Like we said 2 weeks ago, that first game was just a really bizarre fluke. They've been playing a lot more consistently, and I don't know. Chicago, I guess, is also getting better. They beat the Raiders.
They're slowly finding their identity with Justin Fields being the quarterback. I don't think they're going to return to Andy Dalton if Justin Fields continue to play well.
Why would you in the first place?
Well, yeah, because they draft Fields for this reason, right? They want him to be the quarterback of the team.
Yeah, so I think it might be close at first, but I think maybe the Packers run away with it just because of veteran experience. That's it.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
All right. My next one, I will be at work, so I probably won't be paying too much attention to this one. The Los Angeles Chargers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Who do you got?
I'm gonna root for Chargers on this one. I just love Harper, like the way he's playing. It's amazing. I think this is gonna be a close game, in my opinion, because I don't know. Lamar Jackson is totally like he's like super mysterious to me. Like I just can't read this guy's mind. Like, is the Ravens gonna lose this game? I don't know. Like they played this past Monday, right? Or Sunday, I remember.
Yes. They played.
Yeah, they play on Monday against the Colts.
Oh yeah.
And at one point they were trailing. The score was 22-3. They only scored 3 points. And so I was like, and then that was like going into the second quarter or third. They were behind. So I was like, you know what? Maybe was just one back in for the Ravens. And guess what? They came back and won in overtime. So
Yeah. I, there's a couple of things that I want to say, and they're mostly compliments to Lamar Jackson. That he's very good. His passing game's improving like a lot.
mhm.
His running game is amazing. Uh, so it's like maybe the only other person who's as good as him is like Derrick Henry at running.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm a little concerned as a Chargers fan because our weakness is the running game. So unless we can find a way of like pressuring Lamar like a lot, I think it is going to be hard to like hold him down on his run plays.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's pretty much like my main concern as far as that. I'm not too concerned about Justin Herbert being able to keep up with him like shootout for shootout. I am hearing that their defense isn't as good as their offense.
Mhm.
So you know, maybe it's another shootout because that was the exact same reason. Exact same situation against the Browns, where like their defense was all right, but the offense was where it was really at. And I think it's the same situation here. I would not be surprised if we reach like a 35-36 point score.
Yeah.
Uh, and I think it's going to be interesting. I don't, again, like I don't know too much about like the Ravens, but the Chargers have started most games pretty strong, and then like by the end of the half they're trailing by like one or two scores, and then they've
Mhm.
managed to make a comeback during the second half. So if the Ravens are like that, then it's going to be interesting to see like who takes the lead early on. I think the Chargers have the chance to be that team to, take the lead, especially if the defense isn't as good as I'm expecting them to be.
But I think that, I feel like the Chargers defense have been pretty solid so far this season. So I think they will be able to do something. But
They
I also feel like if they can score early, then they have a good chance. Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the problems with last week's games, and why I was getting frustrated while watching the game is because
Mhm.
this defense has the potential to be elite. It's just they don't execute it sometimes.
Mhm.
Against Kansas City, they showed like that they could be elite. Against the Raiders, they showed how elite they are, and then like during the Browns games, like there was just virtually no defense. Like there's some
Mhm.
some plays that shouldn't have happened if they were on that level. They're just like they're good, but I don't know if they're like elite. So it's
Mhm.
like every game my opinion changes. So it's like last week I didn't think they were, but then 2 weeks ago I thought they were potential, and then like against the Raiders, they showed their eliteness. So it's like they're two different teams, like two different defenses are showing up. I just
Right.
hope that the elite defense is the one that shows up on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. I think consistency is the key there. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Again, I got the Chargers because
Mhm.
duh, I'm a Chargers fan. So we'll
Yeah, I
see.
would be surprised if you're losing against the Chargers. I'd be like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, definitely,
Mhm.
definitely rooting for my boy Justin Herbert.
Mhm.
All right. The Minnesota Vikings versus the Carolina Panthers. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with the Vikings, even though I don't. Well, I think it's gonna be a close game. This is a game I don't really care, to be honest. So I think the Vikings maybe.
Yeah, I'm not too interested about this game.
Mm-mm.
They're just two like mid teams. Like they're neither
Yeah.
good nor bad. They're just somewhere in the middle. And
Hmm.
I think the Vikings have had just a really bad streak of luck, and the Panthers is just like again just a really vanilla team. So
Yeah.
I think I got the Panthers here because they're less mistake prone than the Vikings are. So I
Yeah. Yeah.
think I got the Panthers because of that.
Hmm.
All right.
Okay.
The Arizona Cardinals versus the
Browns.
Browns
Ooh.
should be pretty good.
I'm gonna try to root against the Cardinals on this one. They need to lose one the game. Come on. Come on. So I'm gonna I'm gonna go with the Browns.
As a Chargers fan, I want the Browns to win because I want them. I want the conversation about the Chargers being the best team in the NFL to be brought up. But
Yeah.
I think with the Cardinals being undefeated, it's hard. So as a Chargers fan, I want the Cardinals to lose. But as the host of this podcast, I think the Cardinals are going to win. As an objective viewer,
Right,
I got the
right,
Cardinals.
exactly. But based on what I saw like last Sunday, I do think that Cardinals are beatable, but you just gotta have to come up with good defensive schemes as well as the offense, execute them. It will get there,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
All right. The coachless Las Vegas Raiders versus the Denver Broncos, AFC West matchup.
Dude, this game is like one where I don't really care either. They're like in the same division as the Chargers, right? And the Chiefs.
Um, Again, as a
Yeah,
Chargers fan, I want
you don't
Denver to
want both
win.
teams to win. Yeah, so Broncos is a little bit weird. Like, didn't it lost like the week before or something? I don't remember.
I
But
believe Denver lost last week.
they lost. So we talk about like how Broncos didn't really play against the good teams the first three games, right? Because they were 3-0 to begin the season as the Raiders. So I don't know. I think this is gonna be very interesting. I do feel like the Broncos might have some advantage, just because the Raiders literally they don't have a head coach right now. They have an interim head coach, but but yeah, I think in that regard, I think Broncos will have some advantage, unless Derek Carr will be the coach.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. There's this weird situation going there.
Mm-hmm.
I think with all the confusion going around, I think Denver like manages to beat the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The Dallas Cowboys versus the New England Patriots. Who do you got?
I think Cowboys are hot right now, so I think they will win. I think the Cowboys will have this one against the Patriots.
Yeah, their run game is phenomenal. Their Dak is just playing really good football. Um, the There's just nothing bad to say about the Cowboys. Defense is decent. Yeah, Cowboys win this one easy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Seattle versus Pittsburgh, primetime Sunday matchup. Who do you got?
Okay, so if the Steelers don't win this one, I don't know what to say, because Seahawks they don't have Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah, he's injured with the. Oh, that was nasty, man. I saw that the clip online.
Yeah. So he actually got a surgery like a day after, right? So, but this guy, I think Russell Wilson is going to be back in 2 or 3 weeks. Like
Probably.
he wants to play, right? Because he wants his team to go to playoff, basically. So I think he's going to be back hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks or a month. But if the Steelers don't win this one, I really don't know what to say about the Steelers.
Yeah, the Steelers. They won last week against Denver. So I mean,
Yeah, they're on and off, right? With Big Ben now back again as a quarterback. Steelers better win this one, I hope.
yeah. The Seattle is somewhat dysfunctional. It's hard for me to say because like both these teams are like kind of in that same zone of like
Mm-hmm.
they show flashes of being good, but then they mess up somehow. And
Mm-hmm.
just given, I guess, how Seattle played against the Rams last week and how Pittsburgh play, I think I'd probably have to go with the Steelers as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, especially because Russell Wilson's not playing. Yeah, I think you're right. Steelers got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last game of the week. The Buffalo Bills versus the Tennessee Titans. Who do you got?
Bills.
Bills. It's
I really love the way they're playing right now. I think Josh Allen is amazing. I watched the game. I think I watched a little bit high. Oh, I actually watched the second half of the game when they play against. I don't remember who they play against.
Kansas City.
now. They did. Uh, Josh Allen can jump. So
Oh
there was
yeah, he hurdled over that dude.
did you see that? Like he was just like trying to he just run like he was just like a running back, right? Like he just like jump over the guy who trying to tackle him, and he got a first down. He had that amazing slide, right? Like that was not something that's easy to do, but he was consistent. He was really good. Um, so yeah, like I think Bills are playing really good football right now. I think as much as Titans are pretty good, I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like Bills are a better team in my opinion.
Yeah, Titans are good. If it was
Hmm.
against any of like those mid teams we discussed earlier, I don't think there would
Yeah.
be a chance. Like, just Derrick Henry by himself could have just like outrun everyone.
Doesn't
But
like Titans also have like Julio Jones, no?
do they?
Yeah, I think they have Julio Jones.
Hmm. Oh yeah, they do. Okay,
But I think
yeah.
maybe Derrick Henry is just they play different. Do they play the same position or no? I don't remember. But
Julio
no, they play
Jones
different
and
position.
yeah, Derrick
Yeah.
Henry is a running back.
Hmm.
Julio Jones is a wide receiver.
Yeah. So they play different position.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah.
but yes, they have weapons. It's just Tennessee is just not really showing that they're a really strong team. I think Buffalo's on a roll. I
Hmm.
don't think they lose to anyone the rest of the season, and
Hmm.
that's a win here.
Yeah. And they really proved themselves, like this past Sunday when they beat the Chiefs. And it was like raining, right? Like it was raining. You would think that would benefit the Chiefs, but it was an off game for Mahomes. He threw a few picks here and there, fumble committed by Chiefs. So yeah, I think this game here, Bills and Titans. I think Bills will have it. And
Yeah, Bills easy win. I kind of wish it wasn't, but it's just the reality
oh,
of it.
maybe they will surprise us. Who knows?
Yes. You know, the interesting thing is that I looked at the regular season schedule for the Bills and the Chargers, and they
Hmm.
do not play each other, which is such a travesty
Bummer.
because you're either going to
It'll be
have
a good
to.
game.
Yeah, I honestly think that the Chargers have a chance of winning out the rest of the season if they can beat the Ravens this week. If they beat the Ravens
Hmm.
this week, I'm not worried about any other teams the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully Chargers beat the Ravens and the Bills lose a game, but I doubt it. So, the only chance of them actually meeting is the AFC Championship. Is the only like because you the first seed and the
Hmm.
second seed don't play each other. And I honestly think at the end of the season, the Bills will be the first seed and the Chargers will be the second seed.
Yeah, it's very possible. Or the other way around.
Or the
Who
other way
knows?
around. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Uh,
both are really good teams. So we'll see what happened there. I just really like the way Bills are playing right now. They're pretty fun to watch, to be honest. Just like the Chargers. So we'll see what happened here. I think we're kind of like we're kind of like put the Rams aside, like, Rams will be good. But
hey,
we'll see how good they play in a few more weeks,
do,
right? Like how good they are.
do you
Mhm.
know why I didn't call this week's episode the Chargers are the best team in the AFC? It's because the last time
Why?
I called someone the best team in the NFL, they got cursed and they lost the game. So yeah, the Rams got their butts handed against the Cardinals. So I'm definitely
Yeah,
not
that game wasn't even close at all.
no.
Like
So
I
I
thought it would be
I
super close, but it wasn't.
I
So
cursed the Rams. So well, I won't be titling this Chargers best team in the AFC.
yeah.
Okay, so I think that's about it for this week. Just some crazy stuff on and off the field, and this week, like every other week, is looking pretty interesting. There's a couple of
Mhm.
good matchups. So yeah, good stuff. Lee,
Yeah,
anything
totally.
else you want to say before we call it a day?
I think we do have like a couple like 4 teams there on buys, right? So
The Falcons
the
and the
Niners,
Niners.
the Jets.
Yes. And
Yeah, I don't
I
know
don't
which.
know what the other team is.
Yeah, so there are quite a few teams on buys, and I think next week there will be like maybe a few teams on buy as well. So
Yes,
they're
the Chargers are on bye next week.
yeah. So I think it'll be interesting to see how those teams on bye will play the following week in week 8. I think maybe we'll start seeing some things happen to the standings. But as far as the standing is concerned, teams that are like 4-1 or 5-0, they most likely probably will stay there for a while.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think as far as the AFC West standings, I think the Chargers have it locked down. I don't know how it is over there on your division.
I think right now just the Cards that are leading. I think the Cards and the Rams, they will continue to win games. I just don't think the Niners. I don't want to jinx at the Niners, but it just feels really weird that like this season they're still like hammered by injuries, and we're talking about injuries. Like if you have one injury to just one particular player, you still cannot win the game. So that is like it's really bothering me.
Yeah, the Niners. I don't want to say that they're out because they're never out, but
yeah,
they need to get some stuff figured out with the quarterbacks and just how they're playing. They need to like actually finish games. So
yeah, they do. I think they need to get their running game back. Because they've been doing a lot of passing and it hasn't been really successful. So I think once they can get their running game going again, I think they'll be better, right? Because that's how they did it in 2019, where they do a lot of running, not a lot of passing, and they managed to get to the Super Bowl, right? So I think they will have to discover that again with Trey Lance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else?
No,
Okay.
that's it. I think we did a pretty good job this time.
Yes.
Like we managed to keep it short for our audience.
Yeah. Didn't go too overboard. We talked about our teams, and we talked about the upcoming week, and we talked about the Jon Gruden situation. So, yeah. Hopefully nothing more comes of that stuff, but considering there's 14,000 emails, I doubt it. So, we will see you all next week. I'm Joseph, and I've been joined by Lee, and we will see you next week.
All right. Take care, guys.